Now, to spice up this week's challenge episode, I have a drinking game for everybody. Take a shot every time you hear the words Fast and Furious said, and by the end of this episode, you won't even know that there wasn't an elimination. No! 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 Hello and welcome back everyone to the video series Dedicated Show on MTV that will never not say I love you back on a FaceTime call. That's right, we're talking about The Challenge Season 35 Total Madness Episode 6. And in this episode, we learn that Nelson is trying to start off his new career as a dating advice coach. Big T is also known as Big Truck in the house. And if you have any troubles remembering the rules to a daily challenge, have no fear, because Casey is here. Now let's start off where last episode left off, and that was Jay writhing in pain on the ground as he took a huge hit from Rogan in the fireball elimination. And that's when medics looked at him and just said, he just got the wind knocked out of him. Let's set him up, dust him off, and get him into round 2 and 3. That's it. He just got the wind knocked out of him. That's it. That's all that happened. So setting up in rounds 2 and 3 for Jay, he decides to go a different route in his strategy, and he goes the Steph Curry route by shooting behind the arc, and he misses both shots, and he is now having to be on the defensive side. But before he can get on the defensive side, that's when he's asking production a lot of questions like, what are the rules? What's my motivation? What's happening? Where am I? And that's when they had to look at him a little bit further than like say 5 or 2 minutes. And that's when they said, oh, well, maybe he has a concussion and CT. If he takes another hit, it could be really, really damaging. So now Jay is having to be medically DQ'd and have to be taken to the hospital to get a little bit more checked out. Jay is frustrated that his journey in the challenge this season is ending this way, but I'm so happy that he was able to get up, try his hardest, but also I am happy that he spoke up, because if he did take another hit, that could have been really, really damaging to himself. So Jay is being sent out of this game, and Rogan has quote unquote earned his red skull. Now back at the challenge house, everybody's talking, doing their thing, figuring everything out about what their strategy is moving forward into the game. That is everybody except for Jenna, who is calling fervently to her boyfriend slash fiance, Zach, and trying to get an idea of where his head is at, but he won't pick up his phone. Now let's go over to the other relationship drama with Kailah and Bear is having some guy chat at the table, talking about how, yeah, he kissed Kailah, oh boy, yeah. And that's when Bear enlists the help of Bananas and Wes to set up his bed like a little getaway for just him and Kailah alone in the room. And that's when, of course, Wes decides to take things a little too far, and he takes the pictures of Kailah and Mikey, her ex-boyfriend at this point, and puts it up on the ceiling so that when they're looking up from the bed that they will see her and her ex-boyfriend together in the pictures having a great time. And so when Kailah sees the bed, she's like, oh, this is really, really nice. And then she looks up and sees the pictures, and she is frustrated. She is being made to look like the fool. And yes, she cheated, but I feel as though this is pretty disrespectful in a couple of different ways. This is her relationship. She has to figure out it on her own, and to be having the whole house kind of like just laughing in her face is really, really difficult to see, and she is ready to quit. Speaking of ready to quit, Jenna finally gets Zach on the phone, and he is frustrated over Instagram messages from 2 years ago, and he is taking it very seriously. He does not say I love you. He even takes out his Invisalign to talk at Jenna, and that's when they hang up on each other, and Jenna is crying and she doesn't know what she wants to do. She is feeling like she wants to quit and just leave the game, and some people are giving her some conflicting advice. Tori says, hey, if that was me in my shoes, and Jordan was saying that he would leave me if I didn't come back, I would leave the game. However, Jordan is saying that, hey, if that was me and that was happening, I would stay in this game, take care of my business, and if they really loved me, they would be waiting for me on the outside of this game, ready to hash it out once everything is completely done. So there's some conflicting advice happening. Now, after 35 to 40 minutes of this episode of relationship drama, we finally get to the daily challenge of this episode, and the daily challenge is called Fast and Furious. Oh, that's right, because there's a really cool action movie coming out later this summer called, oh wait, it was pushed back a year, so everybody talking about Fast and Furious is a little bit awkward right now. Maybe MTV can double dip on that Fast and Furious money, because they did it once now, and maybe when the next season happens, closer to the beginning of next year, maybe they can double dip again, get some Fast and Furious money. For this week's daily challenge, everybody's gonna be put into pairs, and they will be tethered together at the side of this truck, where they're going to have to take off and collect magnetic puzzle pieces, collect all 10 of them, get back up to the top, and put a puzzle together within 7 minutes. The team that can do this the quickest will win, get to pick somebody else to be in the tribunal, and then they will hold all the power. Now there's 11 guys left in the house, so one guy has to go twice. So TJ pulls a name out of the hat, and it's Jordan. So Jordan will be going in team 1 with Nany, and then all the way down at team 12 with Bailey. So he will have an advantage when it gets down to Bailey because he's already seen the puzzle. He's been able to do it twice and knows a type of strategy that will work in this daily challenge. Now I've seen a pattern happening in this season of the challenge, in particular with these daily challenges, as they seem cool to watch, they seem cool on paper, that you would want to do them in real life. However, a lot of these teams are disqualified or unable to complete these challenges at all, as this is the same thing that happens in this episode of the challenge, as every team is unable to complete this daily challenge except for 3 teams. Granted, you only need 1 to win to make it into the tribunal, but realistically, there's 12 teams going in this daily challenge, and 9 of them are unable to complete this puzzle, unable to do anything. And it's really kind of frustrating to watch because, yes, it's cool to watch, but it's not fun to see so many people fail at something. Now we have some highlights and lowlights in this week's daily challenge, and the first highlight that we have is Team 1 with Jordan and Nany, as they are a perfect duo working on these puzzles, working on getting their puzzle pieces to be the first ones out the gate and able to crush it as hard as they did. It's very, very impressive. A low light that happens was Aneesa and Nelson. Now coming into this, I guess there's a lot of talk that Jenna's going to be the easy red skull, that she is just going to throw herself into the next elimination regardless of what it is or who it's against. She just wants to go in there, see what happens. If she wins it, then she knows that she's supposed to stay in this game. If not, then she goes home and she can work on a relationship with Zach. Well, Nelson is frustrated because right at the beginning, Aneesa drops a puzzle piece by accident. I feel it's by accident, and they are automatically eliminated from being able to finish this puzzle. And Nelson is just so frustrated. He is laying into Aneesa and he is so frustrated with her, and he is just giving it to her, not just on the truck, not just in the little confessional after the challenge, but in front of everybody. And everybody is like, Nelson, calm down. This is not a guy's daily challenge. This is not a guy's elimination day. Like, why are you so mad and frustrated? This reminds me of War of the Worlds between Turbo and Ninja and D, where Ninja and D were just laying into Turbo. That was a guy's elimination day, and Ninja was laying into Turbo. The same way Nelson is laying into Aneesa, and Aneesa is like crying, like she is on the verge of just absolute tears, and he is like, oh, you're just fake crying. Stop fake crying. You just want to go in and get your easy red skull with Jenna. And it's like, well, why would she throw a challenge when she wants to get into the tribunal and have her own destiny in her hands? She can do whatever she wants. She has her own fate in her hands if she's in the tribunal. Why would she want to throw it and hopefully the house would vote her in or somebody in the tribunal would vote her in? It makes no sense whatsoever why she would throw that. Another low light slash highlight was right at the beginning of Tori and Josh's heat. Josh kicked off a puzzle piece and they were automatically eliminated. They just didn't know until the very end when they were putting the puzzle together, and they lost a piece. And Tori is frustrated with production. Josh is yelling no at production like 26 times in a row. It was annoying going into one of the commercial breaks. Finally, production was like, hey, you kicked off a puzzle piece. And they were like literally yelling at production that no, that didn't happen. And it's like, we have 26 cameras on you. Yes, that's exactly what happened. You did it. And Josh finally apologized to Tori. Tori could have been really, really upset with Josh, but she kind of backed up knowing that Jordan was going to go twice, that he would have 2 opportunities to make it into the tribunal. And finally, another low light was between Jordan and Bailey, as they were not a good team whatsoever. Jordan had done this already. Bailey is feeling like she has the upper hand, having Jordan on her side. During the daily challenge, Bailey missed a puzzle piece on her side. She had to go back and get it. And then once they were doing the puzzle, Jordan on the TV said that Bailey just was not talking whatsoever and was not very helpful with the puzzle. Bailey on Twitter said that whenever she put a puzzle piece on the board, Jordan would take it down and be rearranging everything no matter what she did. So there was not a lot of communication happening whatsoever. They actually got DQ'd, which is crazy to everybody to think about because, hey, Jordan did this twice. He already did this once time over and he was able to lock it in. Bailey is frustrated with Jordan saying that, oh yeah, you go all out for your friend Nani, but you won't help me out. And Jordan is like, I don't throw anything. I tried my hardest and it just didn't work out. Bailey is not buying it whatsoever. It comes down to 3 teams. No surprise there. It's between Jordan and Nani, Bananas and Melissa, and Bear and Casey. And you know that it's pretty much between Jordan and Nani and Bananas and Melissa because Melissa and Bananas went up head to head with Bear and Casey and they beat Bear and Casey just like that. So now it's between those two and it's Jordan and Nani or Bananas and Melissa, and it comes out that the winners of this daily challenge, the Fast and Furious daily challenge, is Jordan and Nani, and they decide to bring in Jenna into the tribunal, which everybody is like, why would you do that? Well, because now Jenna has her fate in her hands. She's gonna be safe for the week if she wants to stay, or she can throw herself in if she wants to throw herself in, if that's exactly what she wants to do by the time we get to the purgatory. But that's it. That's it. The time says 9:30. There's no elimination happening whatsoever in this episode. We're done. And I'm not gonna lie, everybody on Twitter said they hated this. They hated that there was no elimination by the end of this episode, and they don't think that the elimination that happened in the beginning of this episode makes up for that because that was residual. And now we have another cliffhanger. We're in the middle of everything, and now everything seems so off. But what did you think about this episode? Let me know that in the comment section below. What do you think about the whole cliffhanger situation that we didn't get an elimination at the end of this episode? What do you think about that? Let me know that in the comment section below. What do you think about this daily challenge? What did you think about all the relationship drama? What did you think about everybody talking about quitting? What do you think about Zach being back home yelling about Instagram messages from 2 years ago? Let me know that in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really, really soon with more challenge content, more content in general. I got brief histories, top 10s, top 5s, deep dives, all that good stuff. Join me next week, Thursday, for another review and recap of the Challenge Total Madness Survivor review and recap on Thursday. And join me Friday for Tiny Table Talk for the Challenge Season 35. But until then, peace.